Welcome back to Redneck's Dirty Hands. I'm Pete. I'm here with my good buddy Jim, and today the two of us are going to be working on D-Ron's sausage of a Sidewinder. That there is a 2018, I don't know what you'd even call that. That's got to be the 2500 HD series because it's got the 146-inch track. It's got more luggage space than a freaking station wagon from the 70s. Like, I don't know. He can fit, I'm not saying he does carry 15 packs of beer in there, but I mean, I know that one holds 15, that one holds 15. So she's kind of, this might be like the St. Bernard of snowmobiles, eh?
Pretty huge.
It is. D-Ron, love him. He's kind of an old school guy, so he's found this deal last year and was like, we all got Sidewinders and everything, so he wanted to join the club. Found this one, and of course he buys the Quebec Special, We're running LTXs, BTXs, stuff like that. You got the Thundercat. And then he goes out and buys this Cadillac. Well, I don't know. This might be a Hearst because she might be dead. Unfortunately, at the end of last season there, we were out doing the radar runs up at the trailer park there. And D-Ron did a pass with this. And as most snowmobilers know, the situation you regret having happen is, stud went right through the back heat exchanger. Green blood all over the snow and ice, and she came over. Thankfully, it didn't hurt the snowmobile. He caught her in time, didn't overheat or nothing, but it's up to us to fix it. So I don't know if you have ever had to deal with a stud through heat exchanger, but I'm not the greatest welder by any means, and neither is Jim, and Jim wants to learn, or at least see it happen.
Yeah, I've never welded a day in my life, let alone aluminum.
well, today we are going to pull the skid out. Now, sometimes it is the back heat exchanger that got hit on this one, so you might be able to do it with leaving the skid and the track and everything in there, but just to make life easier for us, we're going to gut it, we're not going to take the track out, we're just going to take the skid out, and then we'll hook her up to the cherry picker, get her up in the air hanging like a deer, and then hopefully we'll get access to it and weld her up. She's a beauty sled, and last year he broke the that front slipper bar there, so we had to make a new one. So we'll double check that when we got this thing out, just to make sure it's hanging in there, because Darren likes to haul around the big ladies, eh? So Jim's already got the tools out here, so all we got to do is, we don't even have to undo these front ones to get the skids out of the Yamahas or the Articats. That's a slipper shaft, and that suspension is forked over top of that bar. So really, we just got to get under here, undo these guys, and then we'll lift the back of this thing up, and we should be able to just pull the skid out, slide it out, and then we just carry on up with this sausage of a sled, and let's assess the damage. Oh yeah, just take the weight of her, just get her off the ground just a tiny little bit. Oh, just like that, Jimmy. And we'll just pop those bolts out of there. Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to undo the rear axle first, eh?
One rubber.
Yeah, just pull the rubber caps off, then crack those, what are those, 13 mils?
13 mil, yeah.
Nice one. Just crack them loose, and then back off your adjuster screws there. Well, at least the axle's tight. You're getting her loose there, Jim.
Loose.
Alright, maybe just lower her down a touch there, Jim, just so it's resting on the ground, and then we got to do the 13 mil on these guys too, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a 13 that'll fit on here? Oh, tickety-boo. Nice one. Up we go. And in a perfect world, sometimes if you just jack it up enough, it'll just fall out on its own, but this one here, she's fairly heavy duty. not really falling out on its own, is it, Jim?
No.
Alright, let me let her down a little bit.
Well, we're gonna take this front bar out to inspect it anyways, aren't we?
Yeah, we will, but let's just...
Or you just wanna pull it out?
Yeah,
first?
let's give her a yank and see if she'll drop out of there, Jim.
Oh,
Ah,
now.
see you later, sucker. So now, we can just keep going up with the snowmobile. We'll have a look at that. Take a look at the heat exchanger.
Before you weld it, you need to disconnect the battery.
It's probably not a bad idea, yeah. Yeah, D-Ron's got to have something in his tickle trunk, eh?
Oh, I think he's got all kinds of stuff.
Just got to strap that snow flap kind of out of the way, so get a little bit better access up in here.
Let's get rid of that one.
Nice one. Couple of bungees in the saddlebags and tickety-boo. So now we got that lifted out of the way. Oh yeah, looks like there's a dent in that fin there. Might need another light there, Jim. Yeah, so I'm guessing that right there is where the stud hit, but geez, it doesn't look like a hole. It just looks like it dented it in. I'm wondering, it must be cracked or something up in behind there, eh? Well, now we got to get the coolant pressure tester and check it and see. I don't know. I don't see a hole, but
No.
there was definitely antifreeze all over the freaking lake. All right, so we got to pop off his side panels. So one thing I love about these Sidewinders is the freaking panels come off so nice. Disconnect the cluster. And then pull the rad cap off here. Well, yeah, no coolant in her.
No, sir.
Oh, I have got my handy dandy snap-on coolant system pressure tester. Comes with a few different adapters. We need the small one for these guys here. So we'll put that on. Snap this guy on here. Now that is sealed. And then we come over, pump her up. Typically most automotive applications and all that run around 15, 16 PSI. So we'll just pump her up. Hopefully around 10 should be fine. Can't even get her up to 10, Jim. Look how fast it's dropping. Yeah, I can get it up to maybe 7 and then it falls right off. So she's definitely got a hole. So now we need to find our soapy water. I'll give this to you, Jim.
Okay.
You spray it on the hole and tell me when to pump.
Start pumping. Oh yeah.
Pretty obvious, is
It's blowing it right back at me.
it? Is it?
Yeah, blows it right up here.
Okay, okay. You see the bubbles? Oh yeah!
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so we definitely have. I'm guessing it cracked it. These things are a bit of a bugger. It's a heat sink, right? So, or heat exchanger. So it's just an aluminum block passage, and it's got these ribs on it. This is supposed to dissipate the heat. Kind of makes it hard to weld, so we're gonna have to grind out some of these ribs so I can get a good section to weld onto. So we're gonna have to clean this off, get out the die grinder, carb her down now that we know where the hole is anyway. So pitter patter.
Let's get at it.
Okay, well this is the part that, you know, really sucks because I do got to make it a lot worse than it is so I can try and weld it. So I'm just going to take my carbide tip on my die grinder. I'm gonna carve out the center one to expose the crack. I'll probably have to carve out, we'll probably have to go do this one, and this one, and we'll make like a square patch here, and then we'll try and get this all cleaned up in there. That's a pain in the butt, Jim. Let's see what this belt sander thing does. Maybe it's good for this kind of job. I mean, so far so good, Jim. That's not bad. Okay. I mean, we're getting there. I think this thing, you can change the direction of it so it spins the other way. Look at that. That's handier than a pocket on a shirt, Jim. Yeah, it definitely did punch it right up in the middle there, so it's gonna be tricky. We gotta carve that right down to the bare aluminum there, Jim. We're gonna have to make her even bigger. So I think I've got, you know, our patch size kind of carved out, but you can only get so much in there with the tool, so I'm gonna take a little bit of emery cloth and try and clean up all around here. The problem with aluminum is it's gotta be spotless to weld half decent. You get a little bit of dirt in there and it just kind of explodes, and you know, we wanna weld this up so it's sealed, so it can be pretty tricky. Hopefully we have success doing it, but grinding it. One of the benefits, looks like you've been at a disco party, eh? And one of the key things too is handy to have laying around is we'll have to hit it with a stainless steel wire brush afterwards just to try and clean it up as much as we can. And then hopefully when we go to weld this, it'll go nice, smooth, one and done. This color here, you want to see that in cool paint jobs, or you know, if you are grinding aluminum, you don't want to see that in your oil filter or your oil pan, eh? I think that's it right there, Jim. A little bit of a crack, eh? Got it. Kind of sort of cleaned up. I'm going to put a little bit of heat to it with my little butane torch here. You can use a propane torch or whatever. Kind of preheat it, but because this, you know, obviously had antifreeze in there, I want to heat it up and make sure nothing's going to bleed out through the weld as I'm doing it. So if there's any residue or anything on the backside, this will hopefully burn it off. Alright, so before we go at it, I always like to do a little test pass just to, you know, I don't do this every day, so I'm no expert at this by any means. So I'm sure I'll hear it in the comment section. So I'm hoping when it's all said and done, we can lay some beads like that on there to seal her up, but for some reason for me, it always goes good when I do my test pass, and as soon as I go to weld up the heat exchanger, it all goes to shit. Now, this material here that I'm testing on is a lot thicker than that, so, and my TIG welder, normally you get a foot pedal, and you got it's got a variable rate on it, so you can, you know, adjust for your heat. This one, I just got a button on here, so whatever you set her to, that's what you get. So you gotta kind of work the welding, you know, you gotta feed more filler material to kind of cool it down, but if you got it set too hot and you got going, you'll just blow a hole through the aluminum. So she's a little finicky this way, but I like it a little bit better. So, you know, when you're in awkward positions, you just gotta push the button. You don't have to worry about, you know, throttling her.
Full throttle to the bottom.
So I'm gonna set her down to about 60 amps. That was 100 amps doing that on that thicker material. So we're gonna turn her down here a little bit, and I'm gonna preheat it a bit with my torch. You getting her undone there, Jimmy?
She's undone.
Now, when we're all done welding her up, we won't have D-Ron coming up and we're like, well, I don't know, it just won't start now, eh? Oh yeah, we fried your ECU, eh?
Binary cat.
I'm gonna try and lay a bead at the bottom if I can get a solid bead going across down there, and then I'll just try and work my way up and build up from there instead of trying to go down. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do it, but that's the way I'm gonna try and do it anyway. Jim, pump her up. I got a bunch of aluminum gobbed up in there, but she's not the prettiest weld, but I mean, it's a weld for sure. Let's see if we got any bubbles. You got her pumped up, Jim?
She's pumped up.
All right. Oh, you dirty dog. There's a good one right there. Ah, you bugger. And then one right down in the bottom corner there. Oh, you son of a.
Did you want me to weld it for you?
Yeah, maybe you should. I'll tag out. You get in here, Jim. Well, I mean, that's not bad, but that's the problem with like this aluminum stuff. It'll find, you know, a little path of dirt or whatever, and then you get little pinhole leaks. But at least we're narrowing it down, so I'll just have to clean it up. I'll do a little pass over here, and then I'll try and clean that up and get a little bit of a blob in there. We just gotta stop it from bubbling, eh?
Nice one.
You got her pumped up again, Jim?
Yeah, let's double check what we got. Oh, it's still reading 8 pounds.
8 pounds. Well, we got the one up here, but this one, a little pinhole. It's just following her around, but I mean, at least we got that one up there, so. No leaks up here, little pinhole.
Little bastard.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's time consuming, it's tedious, but I mean, it's definitely a smaller leak now than it was before. One more shot. Well, goddamn, Jim. What's that meme? A few moments later.
A few moments later.
Yeah, the professional welders, I don't want to hear about it in the comments. Like I said, I'm not an expert aluminum welder by any means. I had to chase that leak like the freaking coyote chasing the roadrunner. It started off with like a crack or a hole here, and then I welded it, and then it started leaking here. So then welded it, and then it started leaking over here. So then welded it, started leaking over here.
That is so rude, isn't that rude? Really rude.
And then finally I got it tracked down into this channel, and that son of a bitch just kept going down. So I finally got it stopped there. You know what? It ain't the prettiest, but I mean, hey, they can't all be 10s, right? So you know what? It's welded. I think we finally got it, Jim. Let's put the pressure on it, and I'll give her a squirt and see what happens here.
Maybe you should let me weld it.
You're definitely welding the next one. Okay, just like your Swedish maid. Take her up to 10 first. We'll take slow and steady, eh? I don't hear nothing hissing.
There's 10.
10. I mean, I don't see any bubbles. I thought I could hear something hissing there, though. No bubbles. You know what? Let's not look too hard here.
Give Deeron a container of that leak stop or something.
Yeah, throw a thing of black pepper in there. Yeah, that was it's a bit of a bugger. Like I said, it's definitely not the prettiest, but this stuff here, it's so dirty, you know, you can't get it clean, and then it's got the antifreeze on the inside, so I had it pretty much sealed up somewhere around here, and then blew a huge hole right through there with the heat, and then the antifreeze got in there, contaminated the weld, so then you're chasing it, and then it was easy to get it to seal on this edge because, you know, this is the high edge, the stone wheel's hanging this way. The bottom edge, I couldn't get it to stop leaking because I needed to focus the heat on that side of the weld instead of this thin heat exchanger. So, yeah, I mean, it's good enough for the girl I go out with. Right, Christina?
Could be better. It'll do.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's, it's not the prettiest looking thing. Looks like a freaking tumor under there.
It's not a tumor.
All right, well, she's all done. Like I said, I am no professional. Please be easy on me in the comment section, but she does not leak. We put 15 pounds of pressure on there and zero bubbles. So she's good to go. Let's put this thing back together. Yeah, well, we had it. I built a heavier, what I thought was a heavier aluminum shaft, but I still had to turn the ends down. I used a 1-inch aluminum bar, but because I reused the collars that go on the end where the bolts go, I had to turn it down. So my buddy Skippy hooked me up with a big old chunk of solid steel. So this one, you know, this sled is the sausage. She's a big heavy rig, so why not put a heavy duty slipper shaft in there? So we will be guaranteed the tunnel of the sled's gonna break before that breaks.
Yeah.
So now's the time. We'll put that new shaft in, put the new skid back in, and then Deeron is back in business. So yeah, we can throw that shaft in there now, Jimothy. Give her a little crank-a-doodle. Okay, so that right there, solid. This is just the best part of working on snowmobile, ain't it, Jim?
Is it ever? Now the fun part.
I say jack her up a little bit more, and then we should be able to hook her in there. Nothing better than laying on the dirty garage floor, eh?
Oh, that's high enough.
Yeah, we'll give her a go.
You got the dirty garage floor. I got the creeper.
Something just going right here.
Nice.
Your side's good. See if you can hook it up in there. And pull her your way. There you go. Can you hold her there? Now let her down. Hang on to her, Jim. Nice and easy, eh?
Yep, perfect. Yep.
But isn't that just lovely?
Beautiful.
Getting her all adjusted up. Nice, Jim.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's probably pretty good. She's gonna wear in pretty quick, I would think, with the weight and all that. So, and those brand new sliders too. So, yeah, we'll run it a little bit. We got to, you know, throw the hood back on there. We'll spark her up, get her spinning, and double check it. But then I'd say this one, I mean, took forever and a day to freaking weld that thing. You know, thank God for beer. But yeah, I was not having a good time there last night chasing that. But we got her, and I think Napa is going to send me a little secret insurance policy for this thing too. So we're just waiting for the Napa man. What technique you got going on here? You measuring?
I always just measure the length of the adjuster bolt.
Okay.
How far they are, and it's pretty much 2 inches. And I just set the other side exactly the same, and hopefully it's properly aligned and you don't have to readjust it.
Do you need that tape measure to measure 2 inches? So we're set 2 inches side to side, Jimmy.
Correct.
Alright, let's, well, we don't have the coolant in it yet. Still waiting on the Napa man. Let's see. Okie dokie, Jimmy. So we got to put a little bit of coolant in there. What better to put in a Sidewinder than some Turbo Power 50/50 premix? Get this from our local Napa. So we'll just give her a little top up. And then we'll fire it up, spin the track. And then, I don't know, maybe have a beer. Oh, speak of the devil, Jim. There's the Napa man. It's snowing. Finally. Almost better than Santa Claus. Thank you, sir. All right, just in the nick of time, the Napa man. Thanks, Billy. Brought me over. This is our secret. This is our insurance policy. Even though we got no bubbles in there, we're gonna put a little bit of iron tight in this thing. This stuff, it stays a liquid. It'll circulate all the time. It won't clog anything up, except if there is a little pinhole in there, or maybe if he chucks another stud through there. This might help him get off the lake. So you won't have to put all of it. This is for, like, you can put this to a whole pickup truck or something like that. So we'll put a little bit in, top her up with the turbo power. D-Ron's good to go. So this stuff here, come in and take a look at this, Jim. That's like the dirtiest chocolate milk you've ever seen there. She kind of resembles mortar or something, but trust me, it's okay. So we're just gonna put some in there, and then we'll mix it. We'll top her up with the turbo power. We gotta bleed this thing out too, so like it was bone dry. And this thing is, a sausage is long, so it's gonna take a lot of coolant. We're gonna have to burp this thing out, so this might take this might take as long as welding that freaking heat exchanger.
Hopefully not.
So we just got my coolant filter on here. We'll just keep it topped up. We can see it bubbling. It's taking some. We'll run it for 4 or 5 minutes. We'll shut her down. Let's do that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how many times, but we'll do it for a little bit. All right. Well, D-Ron, your sausage of a sled is back up and rolling. And I gotta say, if you weren't such a good friend, I would have showed you the door, because that welding that was a chore, man.
That was a lot, eh?
I know I'm gonna get roasted in the comment section by guys that actually know how to weld aluminum and be like, you know, that. I'm a little embarrassed, but I mean, hey, this is real world stuff.
Yep.
I had no idea how to aluminum weld like a year or 2 ago or whatever, so I just bought one and started doing it, right? And you know,
Yeah.
there's no bubbles, so I think we should be good. And I got that secret insurance, a little bit of iron tight in there too. Oh yeah, a little bit of stop leak in there, it'll circulate. So if one of those welds does crack, or there is a little pinhole in there, it'll fill it, right? So I guess now she's back together. I bled it out 2 or 3 times. There's still some bubbles going there, so it's all we can really do is just run it for 4 or 5 minutes and then let it cool down, run it again. But I think I'll take it for a little bit of a burn and make sure it doesn't overheat.
Oh yeah, that's what you need to do.
All right, let's take it for a rep. good thing I brought my phone. So we got plenty of coolant in there, but yeah, she must have sucked up a bunch of coolant, so we'll let her sit for a minute. And then we'll fire it up again and see. He's definitely getting warm. I don't know if you can see. I got no light out here. Just my phone, but she's gurgling a bit. See if I can get some steam out of here. I'm burning myself. We're getting there. I don't know why it's not taking it from the bottle. Let's see what we got now. Oh yeah, she's a bit on the warm side, eh? Still getting hot. All right, well, we ain't too far from the house, so let's see if she can make her back. Running cool now. It's a good thing I brought my phone. I almost needed it. She was overheating on me a little bit. All right, well, it's another day, Jim. I had to let the D-Ron sausage sit there. She was getting a wee bit hot. Test riding. Yeah, test riding something, you know, after you just welded the heat exchanger in no snow conditions. Probably not the smartest thing to do. She was getting hotter than this skidoo you got going on here. Look at this thing all cleaned up.
High performance machine.
Oh, this thing is shinier than a new penny. Well, they don't even have pennies anymore, so this is even better. Look at this. You might be making somebody's Christmas dream come true here. 1997, show how clean you got this machine. Like you could eat off of this. And what's the asking price on this sucker?
I'd say $1,500.
Oh, you'd make a kid super happy with that. Hit us up, leave a comment if you'd be interested in this. She might be gone, but by the time this video is posted, she's looking so good, but you never know. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so I tried to strip in D-Ron sausage, and yeah, overheating, we need some snow, and today, we're getting a wee little bit, so I think it'll be take two. We'll take her for another rep. Okay, so we're gonna do the exact same run we did yesterday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, she don't overheat on us this time. And just like that, she's good to go. Didn't even get much over 80 that time, whereas the first time I didn't even make it halfway back and she was bubbling over, Deron.
Because there was no snow.
Wait, we got snow now, so.
I said we got an inch.
All right, buddy, you're good to go.
Good.
All right, well, I gotta say, it was a bit of a chore to get this done, but she's a total success. D-Ron, you're back up and running. She's working good and no more overheating. So, you know what? I'm sure I'm gonna catch a lot of flack on my welding skills on that heat exchanger, but it's dirty aluminum and, you know, like I said, I'm no expert, so just take it easy on me in the comment section, eh? But, you know what? I don't know, you just buy a welder and learn how to do things. Just start fixing your own stuff, man. It's the only way you'll ever learn. So, D-Ron, you're welcome. You owe me a beer. Speaking of owing me a beer, this just in time for the holiday season. Redneck's Dirty Hands Koozie Cups.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I might not have done the best job keep welding that heat exchanger, but like Red Green says, if she doesn't find you handsome, she should at least find you handy.
So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy.
So if you're looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, or if you can't get it in time for Christmas, you know, start the New Year's off right with the Redneck's Dirty Hands Koozie Cup. We hope you enjoyed this video. You know, we're having fun making all these videos, and we appreciate everybody subscribing, sharing the videos, leaving comments. You know, hopefully we can just keep this train rolling. So as always, take her easy and cheers.